I think I still got some healing to do because I'll never let my mom win just yet.
Even if the egg was right.
No, like even like when we like I'll grab dinner with her and she's like, "Can you walk with mommy back to like the house because it's dark and mommy's scared or whatever?" I'm like, "Sure," and I'll walk out like this. I'll protect you, and then all the neighbors are like, "Why is that grown dude like pretending like?" I'm like, "I'll protect you, mom." Oh, there's bad guys everywhere. And I'm like, "You stop it!" You know? Dude.
Welcome back to Careful Boys, where we are in the new office.
Oh, yes. Wow. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan and Smack and Eris for carrying a few things, and Anthony for kind of supervising.
Being the ideas guy.
Foreman, he's the foreman.
Yeah. Or Anthony to complain about the filth and this office for 6 months straight till we had to do something about
Got
it.
the ball rolling.
Yeah.
He threatened to call OSHA, really, is what happened.
I know. He was going to call OSHA.
Scumbag move.
I know.
So what is the worst advice you have ever been given?
Aside from the ones that Anthony gives us?
Yeah.
Oh,
Other than Anthony. That's what the prompt says. Aside from Anthony Lee, what's the worst advice you've ever given?
He's writing it in. Aside from...
The first one that comes to mind isn't really the worst advice, but I think it's how it's used, and it's follow your gut. So if you, I think,
But if your gut is stupid...
exactly. So I think you need to look at your own track record, and if you have like 5 wins, like that's like your track record is pretty good. Yeah, maybe follow your gut. But if you keep getting into shit situations, you should follow someone else's gut that's been winning.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Mine is don't do business with friends and family, and it's to me it's been the opposite. Like the friends and family part is actually the best part. Strangers is actually the worst part.
Yeah. Why is that? What's no trust?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I think if you think about the people that's probably fucked you over, it's always strangers, not your friends and family. In my case, at least. But I don't know.
Lucky.
When people say that, it's like I think they got screwed over by their own friends and family, and I'm all like, well, you have shitty friends and family. You chose bad.
Yeah.
But I think all of my companies are with people that I've known for over decades, and like,
they're all friends.
all friends, all family. I don't know. And sure, there's like certain disagreements, but for the most part, it's been great. So I don't know like where that comes from. It's probably just from people that have shitty family members.
Probably.
Dude, you know what I think? It's not the worst advice. It is pretty bad advice. It's like for relationship stuff when people go, oh, at the 3-month mark or 6-month mark, A, B, or C should happen.
Oh, yeah.
And then 1 year.
Like the milestones, it's like by the 7th year you're gonna face this, and it's like no, you don't. Shut the fuck up. It is so stupid.
So generic, too.
Yeah. It's like, oh, by 1 year, if you don't like them, then you shouldn't date them.
Because if me and Hannah followed any of those rules, we probably wouldn't be together.
Yeah.
Because we broke all of them.
Yep.
All the red flags.
Most good relationships break those.
Do they still have that rule where like you get a number and you wait 3 days or some shit?
Oh, that's that. You gotta do that. You gotta do that. You gotta
Remember that thing where it's like you don't want to be too thirsty. You gotta wait 3 days before you text them or some shit.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
People would say that shit about like me and Tiff. They're like, you're gonna marry your high school sweetheart and shit. But I'm like,
That's the dopest thing ever.
yeah. But at the same time, like I get where they're coming from because it's like you gotta see the world. You gotta fucking like
Why?
date other people. Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, I think you're bullshit a little bit, right?
Yeah, it is bullshit.
I think you need to see the
circumstantial.
world.
It's so circumstantial.
I think you need to see the world if you don't know what you want.
Yeah.
But if you already know what you want and you have what you want, then like one of the most amazing things for like the last decade for me is once you're with someone, it's like that part of your life is filled, and then now you're building.
Yeah.
You're building a marriage, you're building a family, whatever you're doing everything together versus you're still like shopping around, you know?
Yeah, because we got to a point where we realized we wanted the same things, and then from there it's just like the hard work to like build it as you go up. Like I think that was the important thing. But yeah, so many people give you advice when it comes to
Well, they're idiots.
well, it comes from like their own view of the world, and it doesn't really
It doesn't apply to you.
Yeah, it doesn't take your life into account. Yeah. I think that's usually bad advice.
Because they might be thinking, man, Nick, I want 50 more pussy before I get and settle down, and then you're just like, what? I'm not like a sex addict.
I wish I could get 50.
50 is the same. Yeah, 50.
I want 50 more pussies before I get married.
Yeah, some people think they need that.
People, oh yeah, that's a common thing everyone says.
People used to be like, "Oh, you're gonna be a trainer, you're gonna be a fucking coach or some shit." Like they would like kind of talk down like that.
Why?
Well, just because like
That's weird.
yeah, well,
weird.
But,
You're gonna improve people's health and lives? Are you stupid?
but once again, it's from people who are like not doing that stuff. Like when I was in school, I went to school for exercise science, and a lot of people that were doing that were wanted to be on track for physical therapy. And at the time, I was like, yeah, that's cool, but I think I'd rather just want to like train people or whatever, like because that was like my passion or whatever. And then people were like, oh, you're gonna do that instead? Like, oh, it doesn't really seem very safe. Blah, blah. They have all their own preconceived notions about that profession, and then they like kind of dump it on you. And then you're like, fuck, am I tripping? Should I do something else? You know?
Yeah, that's what's hard hearing someone talk when they can't see themselves in your place.
Exactly. And so they give you bad advice or they tell you should do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And it's like, well, that's not the life that I want to live or whatever the case may be.
That's why I never listen to my parents.
Oh, dude, that's the worst.
Yo, you know what the worst advice is? Is when somebody tells you how to do something. Like, for example, hey, this is how you make a lot of money, but then it's coming from a person who has zero money. That's like,
Always that.
wait, what?
Always that.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, that always happens with like different things, not just money.
That's like the fat personal trainer.
Yeah.
You want workout advice? That's what I do. I think you should work out.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I think the worst is?
Take a lap, bud.
Yeah.
Doctors. Because they're well respected in their field and they know their shit, like in medical, you know, like, or whatever. Maybe not all of them do. But they use that title as if they're an expert on everything. It's like, don't worry, I'm a doctor. And it's like, you don't know anything about fucking hip hop dance. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck?
Hey, hold on, Dr. Dre does.
Like my mom, she got diagnosed with osteoporosis. And don't worry. A bunch of her specialists were like, oh, you need to be doing these drugs. Like, you need to come in, we'll give you an injection in your spine, blah, blah, blah. And then meanwhile, she has her friends being like, oh, you shouldn't be lifting weights, you shouldn't be doing all that stuff, you're gonna hurt yourself.
Lifting weights is the best thing for osteoporosis.
That's what I mean. And it's like you listen to doctors who are in the know, who are like
They work in the field.
yeah, like the ones that actually work with longevity specialists, or like maybe like people who are working with people that have osteoporosis.
And a fucking dentist comes by and says, I don't think you should do that.
Yeah, exactly.
To your feet.
And then they give you all this, and it's hard because my mom's like, "What should I do? What should I do?" And I'm like, "Fucking just keep lifting weights, do all the things."
How about listen to the people in the field that are at the fucking cutting edge? Like they have the
we're experiencing this?
yeah, they have the most experience.
You know what's worse than a doctor? It's just somebody with a doctorate.
like a PhD. I have a PhD
You know the people that, not that everybody
in journalism.
but just the people that point it out to you. It's like it's always a bad sign.
Yeah.
When they're like, oh, you know, I have a doctorate, and it's not even close to being.
Yo, did you see that Jubilee video where
Yes,
the
yes,
PhD girl?
Yeah.
She had the lowest IQ.
And she's bomb throwing.
And then the military guy had the highest.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And she told him that he had the lowest.
Well, the highest, the guy with the highest
it was
IQ
great.
in the Guinness
It was great.
World of Records is a bouncer.
No way.
Yeah, he's like a fucking genius, right? He developed some
what?
framework for like it's some quantum physics shit about like how he views like God or whatever. It's some crazy shit.
Holy shit.
And he chucks people out of the club.
Yeah, he's a bouncer, and then he lives isolated on a farm,
What's he bouncing from? Like,
like a club bouncer.
Lives on a farm?
Yeah. Well, I guess he
this
drives to the city
is
to
Roadhouse.
You know why? It's Roadhouse. No, he's actually a big brain boy because he doesn't have to do any fucking work being a bouncer for a town of 500 people.
Yeah.
What do you got to do?
a club bouncer.
Oh shit.
He gets to lift weights and just throw people out Carlton style.
Yeah.
Jazzy Jeff style.
One of the worst advice that I still get to this day is just so broad. It's just like go back to school or finish school.
Oh, bro, what a fucking
Who tells
racket.
you, family?
Random ass people. Because anytime
You need
that
to go to school.
Anytime like we're talking about school with anybody, and I go like, oh yeah, I had a quarter left of UCI, and then I dropped out to do dance. They're like, oh, you should go back and finish it. At this point, for literary journalism,
You know what's-
so I can work at the New York Times. Like, what? What's the dream?
That's how you know when someone's stupid. when they give absolute conclusions with zero context.
Yeah, because that's such an absolution.
They just say it.
They jump to the conclusion. Like,
Or they hear us talking like Ryan's talking right now, and like he clearly wants to finish school. He's just afraid. It's like you know for a fact, right? You know for a fact. You're not even in this room, by the way.
Because I don't even think school is bad. I just think like once you figured out what you're gonna do,
You don't need it anymore.
it's like you're fine, dude.
Well, it's because they used to have a monopoly on education, and that was the only way that you can kind of find a space for that. But now it's like,
This episode is brought to you by DraftKings. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs, is bringing you an offer that'll make the playoffs more electrifying. New customers can bet $5 on any game and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Check it out. Scroll. Look at these teams. Look at these odds of this week. Scroll. Oh yeah. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the code OFFTHERECORD. New customers can just bet $5 and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code OFFTHERECORD. The crown is yours. Thank you, DraftKings. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available. For problem gambling, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/football for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
you can have one-on-ones, you can have master like minds, or what's that, master class?
Yeah.
From actual professionals. You could learn directly from like Michael Jordan himself on basketball.
I mean, it's also, I'm not trying to get one of those corporate jobs that requires like a specific diploma. It's like, I don't work in that field, but then people are still like, no, you should finish it just in case.
I can't believe people tell you that, dude.
I'm not gonna get that type of job at this age either. It's like, I have to be an entrepreneur.
Dang, that's crazy.
I got a buddy who's like going through a divorce right now, and then
Sounds fun.
I got another buddy who's like, all right, dude, here's the first thing you got to do.
Oh no. Oh no.
And then he's like, you got to start slaying every fucking pussy in town and all that shit.
That's not bad advice.
Right.
He just wants to live vicariously.
Yeah, that's a vicarious advice, yeah.
Why? Why? It's not his dick.
It's vicarious bait.
Or I really do think he thinks it's like the best advice ever.
Or he wants to go through a divorce too, but he can't yet.
Yeah. This is what I would do.
So when I was with them both, I was like, that's really bad advice, dude. I was like, cause you don't know what he wants. Like, and he's not the type of guy who wants to go fucking. He's like a nerd. He doesn't want to go slay pussy and shit like that.
But that's why he should go, because he's a nerd.
Oh, he needs to transform. He needs to wear leather jackets.
Slick back hair. Come on.
Yeah, he should have been like, you need to go to Thailand and get your lady boys that you always wanted.
There you go.
That's what he wants, but he's projecting it onto him.
You know you want to be with a ladyboy real bad.
Just admit it already.
What?
Yeah, that is bad advice.
It's bad advice. You don't know what. Well, you have to know that's the first thing I always ask people. It's like, what do you want?
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
I don't even really know for sure when that is good advice. Like, to just go slay pussy.
Fuck a lot of pussy.
I don't even know when that's truly good advice.
I think it's good advice if you're truly heartbroken and like there's just no no emotional support anywhere.
Yeah.
I think it's fine to just like go ahead and scatter your fucking heart into a million pieces for a while, so that you can use the numbness to like build yourself back up. That's what I think it was.
Yeah.
What about if you're in Amsterdam? Go slay some puss then.
Probably doesn't have to be a sad time. When I was there, I saw some Japanese school kids, like fucking college kids, running around and having the time of their life. And one of my favorite things to do was just eavesdrop on what they were saying.
What were they saying?
They're like, oh my god, that one, look. And then there's like a dweeb in the group, and they're like, look, she's calling you. And then she's like doing this, and he goes, oh no, that one's too much woman for me. I can't handle her.
It's of a sitcom.
Yeah. And he goes, no, I need someone less intimidating. And they're like, come on, man, do it. When are you ever going to have a foreigner like that? And then I'm just listening like,
Interesting.
damn. And then the lady's like, a 5'8" like woman, you know? And then this dude's like a 5'3" like dweeb. Yeah. And then I actually wanted to see it go down, but she was like,
David
"Come here,
and
boy."
Blythe.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's that to me is like when you're at a video game shop and they misprice all the games, and you're like, I can't believe all these games are so cheap.
I'm on a deal.
Oh, I could get them all.
What the fuck?
Because when I was there, I was like, it's $60. Everybody's a 10.
Yeah.
Like that was insane.
Pretty crazy.
It is pretty crazy.
Like $60 for like the hottest chick you've ever seen.
But it's not the same when they don't want you.
Well, you gotta pay. You pay double, and they want you.
Okay, that's true.
Well, what's some bad advice you could give someone going to Amsterdam and doing that?
Bad advice.
Don't get a hooker?
That's good.
But even that question, it goes back to what do you want? You know, right?
I think bad advice is, in general, is not the advice itself, but who's giving the advice and who's receiving the advice.
Yeah.
I think bad advice is horrible outcomes.
Yeah.
It's like people.
What's the goal? And if you get the opposite of that goal or not anywhere close.
I think a lot of people just suck at life because they don't understand that this action will cause this reaction.
Yeah.
So it's like they have bad predictions, and so they think this is what's gonna happen.
They got bad guts.
Exactly, horrible guts. It goes kind of full circle to what Bart said.
You guys ever meet somebody that just has like they complain about their circumstances all the time, where there's like relationships?
Oh, I cut them off.
They complain about all the time, and then you ask them simply like, "What do you want out of this situation? Like, what do you want for yourself?" And they're just like they have no fucking idea.
Yeah, they won't complain.
Yeah, they're just kind of like in limbo, and then they haven't even thought about that. Or when they give you their explanation of what they want, it's like the most vague kind of surface level stuff.
And then when you give them solutions, they start giving you excuses. And then next week, they're going to complain about the same fucking bullshit to you again.
And it's like every day, I'm like, bro, same thing. If not, the situation's worse. Like this is tough. Like,
You know what it is for me too. I think some
Assholes.
of the worst advice is advice that's just way too complicated. I think
First, you gotta do this, then you gotta...
Well, I mean, like when people have a really advanced philosophy about life that is so many components.
By the plan. That's actually a very simple
Like,
method.
I think that especially when it comes to relationships, the keys are very, very simple.
Yeah.
They're very like base level things, but some dudes want to complicate it to be so much of a quantum science that like they're more taking credit for like having an advanced way of looking at it. Versus like the key is just to
look how intelligent I am.
yeah, and
So
just
like
simplify
mental
it,
masturbation bullshit?
Exactly. Yeah. They're just jerking off to their own theories. But it's like, dude,
I'm intellectual.
honestly, if you just approached it with a wholesome, very innocent like way that like satisfies your, whoever you are inside or your inner child or whatever, it's probably gonna be okay.
Yeah.
But some dudes are like, no, you have to look at it this way and that way in order to be happy. It's like
Women are always trying to get something from you. Like they start.
exactly, yeah.
I feel like the more heady someone
Complicated,
is,
man.
the more heady someone is, the more they're avoidant of dealing with their own like feelings and issues.
Like harsh truths.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then once you address all of that, you live relaxed.
It should be easy
chill.
after that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Well, plus sometimes somebody just believes something so hard, no matter what. No matter what you tell them, you're just like, hey man, like I don't know why it doesn't get through to you, but this isn't the way that you think it is, just because you're clinging onto a couple things that are maybe half true.
Yeah.
Like what this guy does.
Oh shit! When did you grab that?
Like this is just like egregious. It's like takes a couple of things.
Turn that into advice. What kind of advice can we give him?
I mean, he just takes a couple of things and then it becomes his whole life story. It's like, yeah.
I hate how after he watched Loose Change, he he was like, they stole my idea.
Loose Change doesn't even say that it didn't happen.
Yeah, he takes it to a whole nother level. Loose Change actually tries to disassociate themselves from Anthony Lee. They're like, this guy takes it a little too far.
We don't side with him.
Loose Change probably has the most footage that shows that it did happen.
Yeah.
Loose Change is like, we also distance ourselves from all the violence he's calling for and all that.
That's what he gets for not being here, man.
Yeah. He thinks it's all CGI, which is so greatly.
Do you guys still have people in your lives that try to like they mean well and they try to give you advice and they try to like tell you like how to live and stuff?
Yep, my mom.
Yeah, my parents.
Your mom's still telling you stuff?
Well, like, yeah, because I don't know if it's like fucking an Asian gene or some shit. But she can't fucking turn it off. And like, kind of like what Steve was saying, like, the people that give the worst advice are the ones that don't really listen.
They just make up your life.
And they're just, I think they're trying to just like have some sort of catharsis of their own, like making their own lives whole.
Justifying their own mistakes.
Yeah, so like I think like my mom like texted Gio something like, oh, so you guys thinking about having another kid or whatever? And then Gio's like, we gave it a year and if it didn't actually happen, I think we're good. And she goes, nah, you guys aren't, dude. And then she'll be like, no, I'm 40. I like, the chances of any crazy stuff happening with,
Birth.
yeah, like birth, whatever, can increase. She goes, oh, 40's still young, man. And it's just like, are you even listening?
Yeah.
Always be closing.
But then but in her brain,
ABC.
in her brain, it's probably like, man, I wish I had 2 bots or 3 bots or 4 bots,
Yeah.
So she's like, I know they want more taikas, that's for sure, But it's like,
Yeah.
rooted in
but fucking listen to what the fuck's going on.
It's not that you don't. It's just that it didn't happen, and you guys made a rule, and you're like, that's the rule.
That's it, yeah. That's
past
the plan,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's always parents.
She never listens.
I don't know why my parents they always tell me, oh, don't eat this, don't do that. But I'm like, it's okay,
But parents kind of get a pass, right? A little bit.
They do.
Yeah, because their information
Nah,
is
no passes.
Dude, yeah, no, but what is rewarding is when they would tell you something and you go, actually, here's new information about this specific thing, and then you kind of correct them.
Oh my god, I would get shot in the face.
Usually, you would think they would reject it, but lately, my parents, they started accepting these newer ideas.
How?
They're evolving. I don't know. I was very stubborn. I was like, no, this is what's right. Like, no, you can eat this. You just can't eat too much of this, or something like that.
Dude, let's go. Nguyen's on top, baby.
Shit, alright.
My mom, she was just hanging out with us for Thanksgiving, which is like, she hasn't been to my house at all in Vegas, so it's cool.
Oh, nice.
So then she was like, dude, my mom hovers. I'm like trying to cook, my mom's hovering the whole fucking
You're gonna fuck
Nice.
that up, aren't you, Steven?
And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I forgot what this was like. But then,
Oh, you fucked that up. Why using that pan? You're
Yep.
burning the salad.
don't use that pan, all that stuff. And then at one moment, she saw me like cracking an egg, and she's like, Steven, let me show you how to do that. And I was like, oh, you're a fucking idiot, all this stuff. And then she takes 2 eggs. She's like, look, you take 2 eggs, you push them, you bump them together, and one of them always cracks and one of them always doesn't. And I was like, that's actually really good advice. Cause like I always crack it against the side of the pan, and then sometimes the egg fluid leaks on the stove, and
And
then
the
Nikki's
shells.
bitching about it later, and Nikki's like, it looks like you came all over the stove, and then I'm like, I know, I'll clean it up, sorry.
Wait, so
Just
the egg whites.
2 eggs.
2 eggs, boom.
But then
One of them cracks. The
so
other
both
one
of them
doesn't.
never crack at the same
Right.
time.
So then you just take another egg when you want to crack the other egg, and then you put it back in the.
But what if you only have 1 egg left?
Dude, it's because one arm's stronger than the other arm.
Wow.
I always just fucking crack it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too, but that
Or I
is
crack it on the side of the pan
intuitive.
because it.
I was like, that's a really good piece of advice because I keep on fucking up.
Sometimes there's gold in there, huh?
That's it.
Yeah.
You got to be open though. I was open to it.
99% of complaining and bitching and criticizing, and then you get 1% of gold.
I was dismissive initially. I was being the hater because she had been doing the hover shit for fucking an hour and a half. And then I got a little nug out of it. A little tiny nug.
Damn.
Yeah. And changed my egg game. I crack eggs like a fucking pro now.
Damn.
I think I still got some healing to do because I'll never let my mom win just yet.
Even if the egg shit was right.
No, like even like when we like I'll grab dinner with her, and she's like, "Can you walk with mommy back to like the house because it's dark and mommy's scared or whatever?" I'm like, "Sure," and I'll walk out like this. I'll protect you, and then all the neighbors are like, "Why is that grown dude like fuck pretending like?" I'm like, "I'll protect you, mom." Oh, there's bad guys everywhere, and like, "You stop it!" I just have to like everything she does. I gotta like turn it around and fucking rub it in somehow.
What if she's like, Bart, look at this listing, a duplex for 50,000. Would you be like, I'm not buying that piece of shit?
Let me see.
If the numbers make sense.
Or what if there were some dudes in the bushes and they're like, oh, fuck yeah, let's go rob this little Asian lady and all shit. And then they're like, that guy's fucking crazy.
They're scared of you.
Just wait. We're just gonna wait.
And there's a guy with a finger gun following you.
That's too crazy.